everybody out there in podcast land, and a very merry December to you all. This is Omni Bilateral Panic, a podcast about queers, a special holiday reunion broadcast. Yes, everyone is ho ho home for the holidays. And Mary, did you know that we three kings are here to serve, dick the halls, let it blow, and of course, absolutely slay. I am
Wow.
joined as always by my co-hosts, the elf on the shelf, the jingle ready to mingle. Call him the sugar bum fairy with that sweet ass, Cameron Faring.
God damn it, I missed you.
Hi, Cameron. How are you?
Grand scheme of things, I'll be fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, a little better after that intro, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And of course, the holliest of hollies, aim so perfect she can't mistletoe, the hostess for the solstice, Tessa Flannery.
Holy shit.
Holly
Oh
shit.
my. Oh, holy shit.
Holly shit.
That's. You're incredible.
No. Tessa, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm grand. I'm a grand old flag, and I am.
Are you flying high?
I'm so high. I woke up and I was goddamn high. Truth of the matter is, we are recording this kind of earlier in the day, a little bit different for us, and this is going to be released on Christmas Day. So if you celebrate Christmas 25th, happy December 25th to you.
And
If
that's
you
the
don't,
first
Also,
Hanukkah,
Hanukkah, yeah.
so.
is that the first evening officially, or does it
Yeah.
start on the 26th? Oh, okay.
25th, it says, yeah.
Incredible. Well, then a happy first night of Hanukkah to all those who celebrate that. And merry Boxing Day Eve to you Canadians. And I
Yeah.
thought,
Start of
hell
Kwanzaa
yeah.
tomorrow.
And start of Kwanzaa's tomorrow? Oh my goodness, it really
Oh,
is.
like
I mean, when we record,
A
when
festival
we
of
release
lights.
this on Christmas Day.
Oh, yes, I see. We're recording on Christmas Eve, and
Festivus.
Festivus. Oh my gosh, so many holidays.
Yeah.
When's Saturnalia? I feel like you
It's
just know
happening
this.
right now.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah, because it starts on the solstice, doesn't it? Saturnalia?
Yep, it does. Saturnalia and Yule both start on those.
Classic.
Did
Yule.
Did y'all do anything for the solstice, for the longest night of the year?
I threw our vintage holiday party, which I
Incredible.
decorated and catered myself. Speaking of which, I'm drinking the leftover coquito in honor of you all, even though it's 10 in the morning.
Coquito!
Ole!
Yum.
Ole.
I did witchcraft with my family and my love.
God. Your love?
I was going to say, we need to
Hey,
Tessa needs to
David.
update
Sorry,
us
I forgot to
immediately.
tell everybody.
AKA, you forgot to tell me?
Well, no, she
No, I
told
first
me
tell literally
when
everybody.
we met up in the city.
You forgot to tell everyone. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we did witchcraft.
Incredible.
Nope. Update.
Wait, you need me to talk about it now?
Yes.
The fact that I'm in love?
Yes.
Did you meet abroad?
No. This is silly.
Did you meet abroad? Hey.
I met a non-binary individual.
Ooh, incredible.
Yeah, so, okay, listen, all right, you want the whole story? Okay,
actually, okay, Tessa, as you start to tell this, let me transition us, because this is what I think the episode today is. So it's a reunion for us. We haven't done OBP in a minute, and it was kind of a crazy year. 2024 ended up being quite busy, so I wanted to break this down into 4 segments. This is the 4 segments that we're looking forward to today. Basically breaks down like this: something new, something old, something heated, and something bold. Now, something new, this is what we're going to start with, and it's a perfect transition. What's everybody been up to? 2024 turned out to be insane. Tessa, I want to hear about this goddamn secret that you've been keeping from us.
Yeah.
A scandal in the wings. No.
Oh,
okay.
Here
we go.
Okay, so here's what happened.
Okay.
In 2022, I took a writing for TV class with Rich Talarico.
Okay.
What an incredible time that was.
Okay. Nice.
Can you hear a whistling screech behind me?
Nope.
Incredible. Thank you, Zoom audio. Um, so, okay, 2022, I take this class, and there is a very funny, very cute non-binary person who I thought was like in their late teens, early 20s. So I
A
was like,
baby.
it would be illegal. So I don't feel, I cannot feel attraction for this person.
Sure. And they were also there with their parent, which was confusing. You were like, oh boy.
But they were so funny. So then, and I didn't know where they were based because this was an online class. So I didn't know where anybody was based.
Oh, Zoom.
Then Lene, one of my best friends, Lene, was like in 2020, later 2022, was like, come be in this sketch show that we'll put up in 1 week. It's called Old School Sketch Show. So I was like, great. And the person, their name is Allie. Allie was in that crew. So Allie was a writer performer, and I was a writer performer, and everybody's writer performers in it. Anyway, I was like, oh my gosh, here they are, just as funny as ever, and still just as much early 20s in my mind.
All grown up.
So we did that show. They started to be like, ooh, about me, but I was like, you're so youthful. And then I was also like, you know what I'm like. I was like, oh, here's an old man that I like. Anyway, dumb. So, but I always was like, this person's so talented. They're so funny.
Yeah.
They need to be in everything. So when we did Boats, Lene and I, there was a cast change for Caveat, and I was like, please, can we have Allie? And Lene was like, of course, because they're so talented and funny. So we do that show in January 2024. So
yeah, earlier
so
this
Jan
year.
2024. This year. Oh, right. Okay, so new. And I found out that they were, number one, I found out that they just had a breakup. And then I also found out that they were in their 30s. And I was like, oh, this changes literally everything. I was like, they were in a breakup? But I also was like, I'm the producer of this show. I'm technically their boss on this show. I can't make a move.
Right.
So, but in May, but we were like buds, and they started to know that I liked them because at one point in rehearsal, I think I was like, can Allie just play this part for like a character that I like had a big crush on? And Allie was like, interesting.
Interesting move.
Interesting.
Subtle.
So then my birthday rolls around this year. I say, let us go for ice cream, gang of pals. And then of the gang, perhaps 4 or 5 of the gang come to my flat for after ice cream hangout. Oh, Allie couldn't come to the ice cream bit.
Okay.
Sorry for the freezing.
No,
but they
okay.
came to the house, to the flat.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And while there, unprompted, this other person who's at the party said, Allie, what's your type? Truly, we did not plan this. But Allie was like, afterwards was like, this must have been planned. And Allie said, femmes who are kind, who don't want kids. And I was like, flipping my hair because I was like, that's me. And then I was like, making a snack. Literally, I started to just like cater only to Allie at this party. I was like, Allie, what can I make for you?
Yeah.
And then I was like, Allie, do you want some like seltzer with a side of no kids? And did a hair flip at the same time. And they were like, Tessa is maybe into me.
That is
maybe into me.
Fuck.
So yeah. So then everybody else, like, I don't know, they left.
They shuffled
probably
off.
because I stopped giving them snacks and only gave snacks to Allie. Yep. So then Allie's chilling, and Allie was like, so earlier when you said, and I was like, I like you. I have a crush on you. And they played it pretty cool, but they were like, okay, well, maybe we should go on a date or something. So anyway, literally, I was about to leave the country for 3 months, but we went on a very chaste date at my apartment where we watched. We held hands and we watched Singing in the Rain.
Oh my god.
I mean, great movie. But I am imagining it now because you said chaste. You were holding hands through a sheet.
I mean, pretty much. We were. And then I left the country for 3 months. Yes. And then when I came back, we went on 1 or 2 more very chaste dates. But then we finally kissed on Labor Day, standing in the sea, because we went to a state park in Connecticut where they used to live. and we were standing in the sea and we kissed.
Oh
And
my
then we haven't
God.
been able to keep our lips off each other since. We did move pretty fast. It was like Labor Day, first kiss,
That's awesome.
mid-October, first I love yous.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But still,
Yeah.
But yeah,
yay.
and now they're
I think,
here
yeah.
for Crimbo with
Oh,
me and my
nice.
family.
Well, that's great. I love this.
Yeah, me too.
I think there's like an illusion a little bit of we've decided like if things are quote unquote too fast, it's like it's something to be weirded
Oh,
out
like it
by, but
won't last or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
but like oh, it's weird. It's like a weird, like not a red flag, I guess a yellow flag, but like a yellow
yeah.
flag of like, oh, this is feels like it's moving too fast. But I think now I've heard your story, and also my best friend just she incredible. She was like ready to like not not be like be single for the rest of her life and everything,
Oh wow, yeah,
and then
yeah.
like as soon as she made that decision,
Classic.
met this gent. He's incredible. I haven't gotten to meet him in person yet, but he's awesome, and they're engaged. So it was like, and it was
Wow.
like a few months, you know.
Yeah,
And I think it just works out. I think like, you
yeah,
know, there's still everybody has their own speed or whatever, but I think like
yeah.
I think it just works.
We
Yeah,
dated
some
for a month
too.
before we were engaged,
We'll
so.
see.
You Wildcats, I love it.
But I mean, we'd
Fucking-
been best friends for 2 years, so like we
yeah.
knew.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's the thing too. Allie and I have that shared like friendship
Yeah.
history.
That's true. That's true. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that everybody is.
I'm
great.
sorry, David.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Can you imagine? Just make it all about me. That's incredible. I love that.
What's new for
That's
you then, David?
me.
Yeah, new this year.
Yes, tell us.
I mean, let's see. I mean, bonus action, which is a D&D show that I host, available now on YouTube. Shameless
Very
plug.
famous.
Very famous. The volume 2 went and has come and gone. It was I think it was well received. I hope people enjoyed it, those who did watch it. And I know that it was very busy. It came out at a weird time. I think we may be adjusting that for volume 3, and that's what
But
I've
there will
been
be a
writing.
volume 3.
That's as far as I know. As far as I know,
Yeah.
it's become
Yeah.
that thing. It's become that thing of I have to start like preparing for it now to be ready for when, you
Right.
know. So regardless, like I haven't actually heard anything. I'll probably hear something after the holidays. It's a busy goddamn time of year for everybody. So
Oh gosh, yeah.
I don't expect to hear about anything from for 2025 until like, you know, until January. But so I've had to start writing it. I keep getting sidetracked by just these other ideas that I have for like games that I want to run and like stories that I want to put at a table. So I don't know if I'm ever going to when I'm going to do that, or if I'm ever going to get to do those in some capacity. So it's not necessarily a show. I just want to run. There's just ideas that I have that I'm like I want to play more games with friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's it. That's mostly what I was doing. And other than that, it was just a quiet sort of year, 2024. I was mostly working. I was mostly working in a little box office that is freezing cold in the winters.
No.
Yeah.
Why
But
can't
that's
they
it.
get you a heater?
Last night I was working in the downstairs box office for the smaller theater is even worse because
Oh.
it has its own heating thing. So if nobody's down there, it's not heated, right? So I had
Oh.
to do basically that thing that you do with a car where you like turn it on, defrost it for like a half hour, and then come back out.
Yeah.
And then it's usable, you know?
It's not warm, it's just
It's just it's not an emergency. And I had there's an emergency heat on the thermostat, so it's like an extra fan or whatever. and then I had the this portable radiator that was on, and then I also had to bring down the space heater from our regular box office into the other box office because it was still so cold.
Chili
Cameron?
Bills.
So
unpause.
I've had one of the craziest years of my life.
Hell yeah.
I started
Or
out
hell
with
no, I
doing
don't know.
the fifth and final reading of my show, which was one of the best and worst experiences of my life. But I maintain that like it means that my show can withstand the community theater treatment, because like that's basically what it was. It's a professional company, but they use a lot of community members, and I have been very spoiled with my cast members in the past and their abilities, and so like it still worked.
Awesome.
Even
Oh, I love that.
Even though they couldn't do most of the harmonies and couldn't do lots of the anyway.
I mean, listen, some of your cast members couldn't do harmonies when you did the reading in New York, and I'm talking about
yet
myself.
It still sounds amazing.
Yeah. You sit here and co-host this with two of them, I think.
How dare you? I believe in your talent.
David can harmonize.
I don't want to speak for Tessa, but I think it's funnier if we lump ourselves together in this. I feel like
I was still happy to have you, and the moment it transfers off Broadway, I will be calling you both.
Oh my god!
Thanks, Bob. We're not in the Broadway cast. Did you hear that, David?
Yeah.
Hey, it's an off-Broadway show. Are you kidding me?
We'll get recast when it gets transferred.
Hey,
we're in the touring. You cast us in the touring production.
I'm not going to have anything to do with casting. I just mean it's an off-Broadway show. It's not a Broadway show.
Jeremy Jordan and Annalee Ashford are playing our parts, Tessa.
I mean,
God damn it.
God damn. I mean, I can't quite be mad at that because that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
It would be awesome. It'll be the new Wicked.
Wicked. Is this Cameron? Is this the one that I saw on TikTok? I found totally organically.
Yes.
Incredible.
Organically found? That's amazing.
And it came upon my FY page, and I am now friends with Abigail. Shout out to Abigail.
She is fantastic. One of my students. And it was also an absolute joy because so many of my students were in it. They weren't the problem.
Sure, of course, we know that.
It never is.
They're your students.
Yeah. My
it's always a community theater.
It was very lovely.
Aww.
But that started it out, and then it was nonstop exhaustion, and I throughout the year I had to prepare a presentation so that I could direct a show this year on top of musical directing, which I did, but literally had to prepare a 15-page research presentation for these
That's
fuckers.
Crazy.
And then
I can look at you and know you can direct a show. What the fuck?
Thank you. I appreciate it. But so I musical directed Lightning Thief, did Summer Stock again this summer, did Joseph, which was the most exhausting thing I have ever done in my life.
Oh man.
Because Papa's almost 40, and my
Papa can't be listing all those colors.
My dear, I still up here, but the thing was, is the brothers were also the chorus, so
colors and brothers.
5 minutes off stage. I had 5 fucking minutes off stage. My dear friend who played Bonnie in Bonnie and Clyde said I had more time off in Bonnie and Clyde than we did in Joseph.
But
so it was wonderful. Then my wife had back surgery, so I was supposed to do Bonnie and Clyde, but didn't. They let me out of my contract because they're the loveliest people in the world.
Oh, that's nice.
That is
and
nice.
Then musical directed again this fall, and then directed this spring. But this winter. But which I'm taking on tour in a couple weeks.
What?
Exciting!
The complete works of William Shakespeare abridged. I'm taking on tour. All over
Nice.
Finally.
That's a show for the three of us to do together sometime.
I agree. Sure. Can we please? Let's do that.
Yeah.
I don't know where, but somewhere.
You got the touring connections.
yeah. Where's the tour? Where's this going?
No, it's I organize the tour. I am the production manager, the tour manager, the stage manager, all of the stuff, because it's something that we used to do to recruit students, and something in my research I found is that Gen Z really, really appreciates meaning and perceived meaningfulness, as well as connection and genuineness above all else, which I love about them.
Yeah.
And so what better way to say, hey, come be with us, than to say, hey, this is what we do.
That's nice. I like that.
I'm taking some other of my millennial professors on tour, and we're going to do workshops with them, and then we're going to do the show at night.
Oh yeah, boss.
And we're doing the updated one, which is even funnier.
I haven't read that one.
I'll send it to you. But yeah, King Claudius comes on and says, "What are you looking at, libtard?"
Oh, please send that to me.
Oh my God, incredible!
It's exceptional. But yeah, and then the biggest update is I am finally medicated for depression after all.
Yay! Congratulations!
I'm stoked about it.
And it's like the fog has lifted.
It kind of is.
Incredible.
Hell
That's great.
Yeah.
What a difference.
Hell yeah.
What are you on? Can I ask?
Wellbutrin.
Wellbutrin. Yeah.
Wellbutrin. Yeah. I haven't been on it myself, but
the doctor
I know the
jokingly
name.
was like, "It'll also help you lose weight and quit smoking," and I was like, "Cool."
Congratulations.
That's good. You're such a smoker.
Always.
Chain smoking.
Speaking of
as you can tell.
Of medications, though, that is a new thing I started. I started shooting up those those compounded compounded semaglutides.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
That's a Mounjaro. Like this stuff. I went to the doctor, like Wegovy. I don't want to say Ozempic because it actually isn't, but it's like that sort of thing. Because I went to the doctor and they were like, "You're pre-diabetic again," and I was like, "Fine."
Yeah.
And also I was like having gout flares, which is like linked to blood sugar stuff. So they were like,
"Ooh,
here you go, shoot up."
Yeah. Okay.
Gout's gone.
Yeah.
Nice. Great. That's awesome. Oh my God.
Hashtag gout's gone.
Then that's good.
Gout's gone. Hashtag can barely poop, but hashtag gout's gone.
Hashtag barely poopable.
This is what I needed.
That Cameron, that also reminded me because you used a specific phrase. You said you threw out the year. I threw out my back in March.
No.
That was the other thing.
We're young.
I know. That was the other thing too. Also, speaking of almost being 40, is I had, so we all, this is crazy because this also feels like 5 years ago, but we all went to like a New Year's thing, and there was like some kind of old school music played, and I danced like I was at a high school prom again. And I did like that, you know, that, I don't know what it's called, but when you jumped out like that onto the floor, like, you know, I did that, and I immediately like stood up, and I can't remember who I said it to, but I stood up and I was face to face with another person in our friend group that was there, and I went, I can't breathe. I think I just knocked the wind out of myself, and it was fine. It was fine. It was a little scary, but then like by the time midnight rolled around, by the time we went like around the corner to get pizza, I was like, great, fine, I was okay. And then in March, I was helping one of my roommates put this like tent up on our roof so that it could be covered, you know, in the summer. And it was like one of these like canopy, like larger canopy tents. You know?
Yeah.
Very cool. And and they had been like, they had it outside our front door for a little bit, and they were like, I've just been waiting because it takes two of us to carry it. And I was like, I don't think it takes two people. And I picked it up, I carried it up to our roof just fine. And then when I was taking it out of the bag, like the little carry bag, I felt my back just go whoop, like a curtain, you know, like whoop. And then I was like, oh no. And I was laid out for like about a week, like almost 10 days. And
David.
Yeah, so that was the other thing. I think like that was the other part of the year where I had to like confront my own like mortality and everything like that. And I hadn't really had a scare like that yet. And that was the first time that I was like, oh my God. I remember like laying on my bed, unable to move, like had like a bowl of soup nearby, was like, oh no. Oh no, like this could be permanent.
No, David.
Yeah, or it could happen again. So now I've started to like do like all the mobility.
Mobility.
Yeah,
Yes.
I gotta do mobility. Yeah, I should have been doing it all along, but
I should be doing it too. I had a trainer for a bit, and we were doing the mobility, and I gotta get back into it.
Yeah, I've had to get back into it. I lost a lot of it from 2020. Still, that was like the other big,
yeah,
Yeah, no, same.
Yeah, and then it's annoying because I've done it now. It took me a while because now I got back into it after October and stuff like that. So it was like this last month and now this month I've been doing mobility exercises when I wake up and all that. And
nice.
I'm a little sore because obviously I haven't been doing a lot of that. But it's annoying because I hate that everybody's right. Like oh, just do a little exercise and you'll feel great. And it's annoying to find out that that's true.
It is. Just go on a walk. Your depression will be so much better. Fuck off. Fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a stupid walk for my stupid ass mental health.
Exactly. It's not cured, but God, do I feel better? Like that's annoying.
It's so annoying.
Go.
Sorry, that's the other thing. Is my wife is no longer working at County 10, and she is now
This is big.
law clerk, and the pay is the same, but it's strictly 40 hours a week. She gets to clock out. She has not worked a weekend since she quit, and is doing
I love it
much better.
I love it.
Incredible.
Mazel
Right, Tessa?
on that.
The sparkle is back in her eye.
The sparkle is back. She was able to come with us to have a coffee and a hot chocolate. So
I love to hear that.
I can't believe it because I feel like I haven't seen it. I've come to your house and not seen her because she wasn't working.
Right.
I've spent days at your house and not seen your wife.
I think she was avoiding you. That sounds more like
that's what I thought.
Yeah, right.
She was not. She was so sad.
That's literally what I was about to ask was how did surgery go and everything?
It went really well. She is she finished physical therapy. She's having a couple flare-ups, which the surgeon was absolutely expecting. Mm-hmm. But it was also University of Utah, turns out, is one of the greatest hospitals I've ever experienced.
Ooh,
they really have their shit together. It was supposed to be a 4-hour surgery. It took 2.5. And they had 3 methods of communication with me, which when someone is on the operating room table, that is life-changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome.
But yeah, she is overall feeling so much better.
Oh, good. Well, it's and it sounds like it. Sounds like she doesn't have to avoid Tessa anymore. So that's great.
Yeah. Which is good for me. I don't know how good it is for her, but great for me.
That really is much more of a sacrifice on her part.
She is
No, Tessa. Come on.
I shake my fist at you.
Okay. I deserve it. The second segment is something old. We look back on the year. What did we take in? What did we enjoy? You don't have to necessarily say stuff that was released this year, but if there's something that sort of made an impact on you, arts wise, I was generally thinking like arts wise, like, how people do, like, Barack Obama still does his like top songs of the year, top books that he read,
Oh yeah.
But they're always year relevant, like they came out in 2024 or whatever. But I'm opening it up. Movies.
I saw 13 Broadway shows this year, which is my record.
Holy cabooses, you nut!
And so many of them were life-changing.
Incredible.
I also had the pleasure of seeing with Tessa the new Sarah Rule play with Taylor Mack back in May, which was...
Oh my gosh, that's right. Wow, that was this year. That's right.
It was. I mean,
that was amazing.
But yeah,
Orlando, right?
Yeah, Orlando, which was super fun. But like, I was telling David before you joined that I saw Sunset when I was just in the city, and it lived up to the hype. I saw...
Yeah, you were telling me that.
Sunset Boulevard.
I saw one of the final previews of Audrey and Gypsy, and
oh my god!
Also, she made me cry in Rose's Turn, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Wow.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. You're not supposed to feel bad for her at this point.
And like she was so evil and so manipulative and so delicious that like the whole time I was just like,
Oh,
I don't even care that you're not belting the high notes. I don't give a shit. You sound great. You're
I
Audra
love it.
McDonald. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
she's so incredible.
And I also saw Death Becomes Her, which is truly
Yeah.
extraordinary.
Okay, I really want to see that.
You should.
Yeah.
I mean, Megan Hilty and Jennifer Samard alone are worth it.
Mhm.
But Michelle Williams too,
Megan-
kicking ass, taking names. Christopher
All
Seaver being
right.
funny as fuck. They're so funny,
That's what I hear. Yeah.
and like it's just so theatrical and such a beautiful old school Broadway show. Like there's just lots of they recreate everything that you hope for in the movie and do it very
Great.
theatrically. So there's just lots of body doubling and like really impressive human puppetry, and it's just
Oh, fun.
Love
I'm
that.
probably gonna see it again in May if it's still running. Fingers crossed.
Hell yeah.
Fingers crossed.
It
yeah,
seems like it will. Everybody I've heard seen it has really loved it. So
I hope so. I think I saw 4 of the 5 Best Actress nominees though for leading actress.
Oop.
It's gonna be a tough year.
Oh,
which ones did you see?
Nicole, Audra, Megan, and Jennifer.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah. Makes sense. That's yeah. Have you been to all the theaters now?
No, I'm close. I only have 9 left.
oh my
okay.
gosh, dude.
Wow.
That's also incredible.
I have a spreadsheet because, of course, I do.
Me
Of
too.
course
Yeah,
you
I have a
do.
spreadsheet for.
Yeah,
There's 40 theaters.
41.
41. I can't remember everything.
I
can't
should know how
remember
many
my
theaters there
life.
are. I'm realizing. Call myself a theater fan. Who am I?
Oh, you've probably been to most of them. I bet, Tessa.
I don't know. We'll have to go see.
We'll
I'll
have
have
to.
to. Can you send me a copy of your spreadsheet?
Yes,
Sure.
absolutely. Yeah.
Um.
I'm sure they're very different spreadsheets, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want one of each of yours, and then I'll combine them into my own, and there'll be 82 theaters.
You won't merge them.
No,
There's
There's just 82.
refuse.
There's just 82
I actually
theaters on
don't know how to
Broadway now.
merge. I don't know how to merge. I don't know how to do a filter. I don't know any of that. Yeah.
The nice thing, though, is you can Google, how do I merge 2 Google Sheets? And it will show
Oh,
you.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I refuse.
A skill that I've found is very lacking in our dear Gen Z, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. I know. That is funny, isn't it? Because students of mine will be like, how do I do that? And I'll be like, well, I figured it out by going to Google and saying, how do I do this?
Yeah.
Because we're all using a brand new, like, online, like, grading system and online, like, place for work to live. Like, we were using Blackboard, now we're using Brightspace. And, yeah, there's so much to figure out about Brightspace. And they're like, this is new. And I'm like, yeah, to me too.
Bright. What is Bright Space?
Oh, it's just
What
like,
is
yeah,
this?
what is it called? I guess an online learning
Oh,
management software, LMS or some shit.
okay. Like Airtable or whatever. There was
Like
LMS.
Google Classroom or whatever.
Okay. Okay.
You get it.
Easy Bib.
Yeah, like what?
No, just naming other things.
That is a tool I allow my students to use.
You have to. I don't know how to do a bibliography otherwise.
I try and teach them, but
My point is, why ever do a bibliography again when that's what ChatGPT is for?
I have so many thoughts and feelings about AI, but
I mean, so like, write the speech, please, for the love of God. But like the menial tasks.
Yeah, for the menial. Yeah, that's what
I would love if they would let the menial tasks go to the AI, but instead they go to the AI and ask the AI to write the speech, and I'll be like, "What the like?" It'll be the most boring speech you've ever heard, and it'll have nothing that I asked them to put in it, and I'm like, literally, just read the requirements, you idiots. No, sorry.
Well, and also,
no, it's great. I'm also seeing like a lot of the trying to educate people who are like it's just another way to make a movie. It's like crazy to me. I can't believe that I have to explain this to you. And then like I did come up with a perfect analogy. I think it's great. I think it's a perfect analogy for it, and the fact that people were like essentially moving the goalposts around for the art to continue to support their argument. I was like, this is crazy, y'all. I said that if you're like if it was football, like if it was a sport, and you trained an AI robot essentially the same way that they've trained, essentially the same methods, unethical or otherwise, like put that aside. But if you train this robot in the exact same way, make them watch all these football games, and blah 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 matches. Shut the fuck up. Football. Make them watch all the intermissions, and then
I'm a sports cabal expert. So,
but if you train a robot to do the exact same thing and then play that sport and then replace one of the athletes, everybody would be pissed.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the essential part of it is, if you remove the human element of it, if you remove the creativity of it, then immediately nobody cares. It's like, why do I want to watch this robot win a football game? And the fact that the argument's coming back at me, we're like, that's different. That's why there's different sports categories. And I'm like, that's irrelevant. And that's not why we have different sports categories. That's not why it's separated into male and female sports, right?
Right. Would we watch two teams of robots try and catch a ball and throw it? Like,
no, because why would you care? Why would you care?
Why would you care anyway? But that's beside the point.
Good point.
But it's the same thing. Why would I care about watching a play or reading a book or going to a movie if nobody even cared to write it? They let a robot do it, and they were like, yeah, that's as good as any human.
Yeah.
Except it's not. We have done many cold readings that are AI written on this podcast. And they're funny as fuck because they're terrible.
Yeah. They are usually bad.
Yeah. But
bones help no one.
But that's But I think you were saying earlier, Cameron, the Gen Z thing, I like, they appreciate connection and like all of these things. I think there's going to be a shift too of that, of like, as AI becomes more prevalent, and especially as it becomes corporatized. Like it's so immediately been incorporated into businesses. Like every goddamn business website now is like, oh, and we have this tool, and it's like, okay, is that really going to help you, Subway? Like, what are you like? Okay, but I feel like there's going to be a shift of like, oh no, this experience, whatever it may end up being, is entirely human curated, and is like, you're going to be with like a guide who is here in person. They will answer your questions, blah blah blah.
That's going to become like the premium.
Yeah, I think there'll be like a premium for like a human to human interaction,
which is kind of nuts, but yeah,
which is nuts. But it's also like, I feel like that validates a lot of us who are insistent. I think rightfully so that we're insistent, but like that we're insistent on doubling down and being like, no, I'm not shifting my priorities to AI curation and learning how to write prompts and all that. Like, I'll do that as I need to, but I think I'm going to continue doubling down on what I want to do, and I feel like people are going to have a desire to experience that in the future.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
It's a remarkable tool for doing things like letters of recommendation or cover letters,
I do use
or
it for
resumes, or any of the other stupid ass bullshit that like is a waste of time.
Grant writing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
All of that, like cold letters. Where you're just sending being like, hey, look at this thing. Nobody cares because they're all terrible anyway. Always. It doesn't matter. What a waste of fucking time that is. That's what AI is for, is that. Menial tasks like that for artists who can't afford to hire someone, but who also have shit to do.
Yeah.
Not for actually writing the thing.
Right. Give us the time we need to do the creative part by taking the shitty admin part off our hands, not the other way around.
Right. Yeah.
But
unfortunately, the people with money to support it are the people who can't do art in the first place.
Exactly.
So that's their priority. Like, that's their priority.
Right.
Because they're like, oh, I want to do that too. Anybody should be able to write. And it's like, you can. Anybody can, but it's fucking hard work.
It is. It's a nightmare.
And
a
making this
nightmare.
It's the worst thing. I hate doing it. I don't want to do it.
But I also
but I love it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Another friend of mine and I, like, she's a writer too, and we just talk about how, like, most of the writing process is being miserable and trying to delay writing as much as
yes.
Don't people say, like, have a hobby that you hate more than writing, so that when you get to writing it's like a special treat? Like, have a hobby of running that you hate, exactly. So you can hate it.
Yes, that's exactly it.
It's a great idea.
It's
Maybe I'll take that up to 2025.
Yeah, I think that's 2025 is the year of a
hobby
I hate more than writing. Take up a painful hobby is very good. I love that.
Actually, oddly enough, like, a lot of experiences I had this, and one movie, like, harkened back to, like, my own personal past in interesting ways. Like,
I love that.
So thinking about the Wicked movie, which I know we'll talk
about. Of course.
But, like, that's for me, like, the end of high school. That's high school kind of represents that period. And now the movie's out now, obviously years and years later. I'm old. And then
it was. And then can I just say it was weirdly nostalgic, right?
Right?
When you sat down and the music started, I was immediately emotional, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Firstly, also, I need to admit that I was one of the 4 people in the continental United States who did not know that this was part 1 of a 2-part. So I sat down with my friend thinking I am watching the movie of Wicked. The screen comes up and it's like part 1, and I looked at her and was like, "I'm sorry, what the fuck?" Because she had warned me, this is a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
Make sure you pee before. And then I was like, "I'm sorry, 3 hours for a half." But anyway, so that sort of was like my high school years, because we did Wizard of Oz around the time that Wicked, like, was getting really popular. So we, like, had this extra connection to it. We felt, of course, at my high school. And then I spent the summer in the UK, so that was like revisiting all my college friends, and, like, being back in Glasgow was so lovely. And then something else, I can't remember. Oh, I'm back doing Magnet Sketch. So that was like New York highlights for me, like being at the Magnet all the time, like now being back there. It's like, it's just kind of interesting. It feels like, not that I've taken steps backwards, but it's been like I'm revisiting these different periods this year.
Absolutely, which is so lovely.
Yeah.
Can we take like 5 minutes and gush about the Wicked movie?
Yeah, of course.
Let's gush.
Of course. Yeah. But I'll just say, Tessa, I love that, because I was just talking about this with someone recently. It's like to have gotten to a point where you can revisit those things on your own terms is really nice. Like you weren't.
Totally.
It's not like you were forced back to Magnet Sketch,
No, I chose
because you didn't have any other performance opportunities, or something bleak like that. It's like, no, I got to come back because I wanted to, and that's, I don't know, I think that's incredibly fun. I love that.
And let me tell you something, being in the town where you went to college, but actually having enough money to, like, take the bus or eat a meal is incredible. An incredible experience. I highly recommend.
Life-changing.
I could take the bus if I needed to. I could eat food whenever I needed to. It was really amazing.
I love it. Yes. What beautiful transition. I think that's like that was the other big, like, pop culture moment that I was thinking of for the year. If there wasn't anything, necessarily else that we would talk about, I figured in the something old, like, looking back, we would be like, holy shit, Wicked, what the fuck? How did everybody, what was your expectations going into it?
I was trying to remain neutral, because it is something that I have adored since 2003, and it is still basically my favorite musical. Like, I love it. I love everything about it. And
we've been burned by a lot of
so
recent
many
musicals.
Yeah.
Into the Woods was garbage. Hot, steamy garbage. And, like, that's one of my other favorite shows. And so I tried to walk in not being negative about it, but not necessarily being positive either. And, like, I cried 3 times, including at the end. I was just a blubbering mess. And I turned to my sister, who was also a blubbering mess because we saw it on Thanksgiving weekend, and was like, "No notes."
Yeah.
Wow. The notes from Cameron Michael Faring. Wow.
from the Faring siblings, incredible.
From
yeah.
A double Faring, no notes.
Yep, no notes.
They both threw their notebooks behind them.
Yep, we did.
Hit the guy behind them. He's double blind now.
Hit a boomer in the face. It was a triple win, you know.
That boomer was like, why didn't she just work harder? A boomer seeing Wicked.
That is kind of funny.
My mom also wept.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And my wife. It was such a lovely experience.
Yeah.
My wife.
I mean, yeah. Even the fact that like Into the Woods, I'm a little more forgiving of Into the Woods. There's a few things that I liked about that movie, but you have to think about this. There's been, since Into the Woods, there's been at least 3 worse musicals that have come out since then. Like Dear Evan Hansen came out, Cats came out, and Cats started the pandemic, I'm convinced. And it did. Did everybody else's movie app? Like the last movie you saw in 2019 was Cats, wasn't it? And yeah, and honestly, like we were just talking about it, but the new West Side Story was just okay. Like there's some stuff in it it's good. Rachel Zegler I think is great, but other than that, I was like, I can't believe this is like a Spielberg movie, and I'm kind of bored.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I still haven't seen it yet either. I do want to, but
I think it's I still think it's worth it. There's several good performances, particularly Rachel Zegler, which is a big, like that's a big thing, you know. Like I would kind of watch like Into the Woods just for Meryl, right? Like that
of course.
That's enough. That's enough for me. So like Rachel Zegler's Maria is good enough that I'm like, all right, I'll watch the rest of this movie.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, cinematically it's great, but like it's not I feel like it should have blown the roof off the place. It's Spielberg and it's West Side Story. It should have done fucking numbers, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was going in with it like very skeptical, and also I don't know, I think like in the interim Wicked had the same problem, or not the same, it's not Wicked's problem, but like Hamilton's got this like life cycle now where it's like looped around and people are like, Hamilton's overrated, you know what I mean? And I feel like Wicked,
you know what?
Yeah,
I do know.
And I feel like Wicked got that too. Like Wicked was very popular in high school, Tessa, like you said. It was for me as well. And then I feel like I got to college and it was like everybody's fucking singing Wicked, and you know,
it became a joke of itself in a way.
Yeah. And now suddenly, it's not like, oh, it's overplayed. Now everybody's like,
now
Wicked's not actually that
space
good.
For the lyrics. Yeah, Defying Gravity.
Because we're all in queer media, so we have to hold space for Defying Gravity.
It's like, I have been holding space for Defying Gravity for 21 years.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good point. Defying Gravity's been held space for old enough to drink.
Yep.
Yeah. Defying Gravity can drink.
And it also eats anyway.
Yeah, Cynthia was fucking magical. She
oh my gosh,
I thought she was great.
Her first song at the end of The Wizard and I, our audience in Brooklyn clapped.
Yes.
It was great. Also, it was great.
Ariana completely won me over.
Yep.
Like
I agree. I went and being like, I don't like
Ariana fan before.
I know. I am the sole Ariana stan on the podcast, y'all. And I kept telling everybody, I was like, no, she's going to if you don't like her, she's going to win you over.
And
I guarantee it. And I was right.
She was so exceptional. And
I
couldn't believe their chemistry together.
Yeah. Yes, and the fact, I think that's partly because they sang live. Like, I mean, but you know, I know that how movies have to work, but but the fact that probably all these other musicals that we've just discussed were certainly not having live singing, and there is something about it that has made it magical. Like, and I think that's part of it.
Well, and
plus Cynthia's just magical.
Yeah, I mean, Cynthia's just
They both are. Well, but like also, how about Jonathan being bye.
Yeah.
OMG.
Yeah, I said if I
fucking hot.
Yeah,
hot
I said
if
I hadn't been bisexual before Wicked, Jonathan Bailey made me bisexual.
That's correct. I was like, because like I have not watched Bridgerton. I have not, I just have never interacted, and so I just went in completely blind.
Yeah,
and I'd seen photos, but I was like, "What's the big deal?" And then all of a sudden, first of
all
all,
of a
I was
sudden
like,
you were
"How
like,
dare
swing.
you? How dare you on camera look like that?" Second of all, how dare you sing like that? And then third of all, how dare you fucking dance like that?
Yeah. He is next level.
And also, I think I had a realization because we watched a couple bootlegs of the show afterwards. We were like, "Oh, what's it?" I haven't seen the show in a minute, so
I haven't
what's
ever
it like?
seen the show.
You've never seen it?
Believe it or not.
God.
I've never seen it live because plenty of reasons.
Sure.
Back when I was in high school and stuff, like we couldn't go to New York to see it or anything. And then when it finally came on tour, it was like I was in college and it wasn't coming there.
Right.
And my family were like, we got to see it. Hooray. And I was like, cool, good. But I was also in college. So I was at that point where I was like, it's a little overrated.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I got to New York and it was like, well, no, I have to see this newer show. Like Wicked will always be there. Yeah. So anyway, I've only like listened to the music and pieced the story together. Yeah. I got to go see it. I do want to go see it now.
And I mean, like this current cast are phenomenal. I saw it.
Yes, that's the other thing.
My 5th time in May.
Hell yeah.
You saw Sosha? You saw Alexander Sosha?
I did. But I mean, I didn't realize she was in it until after I'd purchased my tickets. And by the way, top notch. Just one of the best movies I've ever seen. M.K. Morrissey is a phenomenal Elphaba. But I actually went for our legend playing Madame Morrible, Donna McKechnie.
Oh, that's right. Donna McKechnie's playing it. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
And Brad Oscar.
And Brad Oscar's playing the wizard, yes.
And I was like, this is stupid.
It's an insane cast.
I'm so glad because honestly, there was a period, I think probably like 2015 through 2019, where people were like, just actually you should go see the tour because the touring cast is better than the people who they're putting up now or whatever. And I was like, okay, I guess. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that was also some BS.
See, that's the thing. It's also like people are talented. It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, come on, people are talented. Shut up.
Yeah. I love it. Jonathan Bailey also, to add to his list of accolades, is he also, because I watched the bootlegs of the show, Jonathan Bailey played Fiyero, I think, in a more correct way than what has become in the stage musical, because there were so many moments that he had where it was like, where I've watched other Fieros play it like a dumb jock. And like he's just a popular kid.
He's not that though, right?
And it's like, no, he's actually like, that's the irony of the Scarecrow, is that he's actually fucking brilliant, you know. And the one that I was thinking of, speaking of Dancing Through Life, when Glinda sets up Bach to ask Nessa to the Ozdos Ballroom in the musical, every Fiyero I watch, like all these bootlegs, all the Fieros are like, good job, babe. That's basically like the reading. It's like, now we have time. And it's like that's weird, you know, like they're the popular kids, but then I watched Jonathan Bailey do it and I was like, oh, Jonathan Bailey's is, hey, so that was a little weird of you to do, you know? And Glinda's like, well, you know, and I also don't think like there was any malice on Glinda's part. I feel like that was a beautiful part of the movie. But Jonathan Bailey being so perceptive, like Jonathan Bailey's Fiyero being so perceptive and being like,
so perceptive.
Hey, that wasn't the coolest
and
thing.
And he still said, you're good, but it was like, you're good.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're good.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. There was that thing of like, I know what you're doing.
Right. Yep.
Which is important. Yeah. I think it's so important because it's also like, we got to from the beginning kind of undermine this.
Well, and also
the love story that's going to be told about these two.
Right.
Mr. Ariana Grande is the first Bach I have ever not wanted to punch in the face.
SpongeBob SquarePants?
Yep, SpongeBob.
I didn't realize. So, first of all, I had a lot of confusion. I've always had a lot of confusion because, first of all, never seen the show. around Bach, he's just like mentioned, and I know the story of like what happens with him. Of course I do.
No spoilers.
I've heard the lore. I know the lore.
Yeah.
But I thought that this actor, first of all, I was like, this is the guy who played the voice of SpongeBob in the cartoon, and people were like, no. And I was like, so he's not the one who Ariana's with? And they were like, no, what do you think? And I was like, so who's Ariana with? And they were like,
him.
He played SpongeBob on Broadway, and I was like, oh.
It's like your dialogue, Tessa, has been written by like a British farce.
Which is most of the time how things happen in my mind. Actually, this is kind of funny. Last night, this is how my mind works. Like, it's a conversation. Because I've always wondered, like, do I have an internal monologue? I don't know if I do. I have an internal dialogue, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Because what happened last night is I made this batch of brownies that are gluten-free because Alice has celiac. And we're going to go to a party tonight. So I was like, I'll make some gluten-free brownies.
Aww,
I make gluten-free brownies.
It's made up, everybody. No, I'm kidding.
I pour them into their little cups so that it'll be easy for people to take and they won't be touching them with their gluten hands.
Yes.
And I fill the cups and I'm looking at the bowl. I put the muffin tin into the oven. I look at the bowl and I'm like, ooh, there's a lot left over. Like, I could lick the bowl. And I was like, yeah, especially because there's to myself. Yeah, especially because there's no flour in there. And then I was like, I forgot to put the fucking flour in. And then I say that out loud to my family, who are like, pull them back out and just stir like a teaspoon into each one. Anyway, but this is like the whole point of me telling you this is to tell you that in my head it is a farce, because it's one person being like, ooh, I'll lick that bowl, and another person being like, which you can do because you forgot to put the flour in, and then a third person saying, you idiot.
Yeah.
So real quick, back to Wicked. I have two favorite things that this experience has brought about.
Please.
Number one, it has been so fun watching all of these people who have never seen it before getting so invested and trying to theorize what's going to happen. Because it's like, oh, you sweet babies, you're not ready.
Oh, yeah.
Am I going to the double feature? You fucking betcha I am.
Yeah.
Oh, you think they're going to show 1 and 2? Okay, clever.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the second favorite thing is my darling protege has recently begun his journey into just discovering how dark and terrible the world is as far as like corporate blah blah, and he on his own accord was like, I'm going to start taking a stand, and decided to not see Wicked as part of his it's just a cash grab new philosophy. He's 19. So like, you know,
we all have passions when we're 19.
It's very typical. And I texted him immediately after I saw it, and I was like, you will see this fucking movie. And he was like, no, I'm not gonna. And I was like, I will pay for it. We are going together. We are going to go. And like, it lit him up in a way that lit me up, and I knew it was going to. And I was like, I completely understand. This is your sweet baby angel thing of wanting to take a stand, but this is not the time to take a stand.
Not this particular film.
Not this particular film.
Yeah.
They did everything correctly.
Yeah, we'll have so much. That's the thing too. We'll have so much to rage about. Like, you know.
Yes, we will. It's like, don't.
Yeah.
You're 19. You're gonna get older. There's so much to rage about. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, he's also getting married 3 days after his 20th birthday. So.
Oh.
Well. I'm telling you, Yin's out west. You do it. You just do the thing you want.
Wow. Getting married. I can't even imagine. I can't fathom my 19-year-old self getting married.
I was dumb. I was real dumb.
We were too. Like, we got married at 25, and we were senior citizens when we got married out here at the age of 25. But when we moved to New York, they were like, "Oh my God, you were only 25."
You're married? Yeah. Right.
It's just so funny, philosophically different.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, yay Wicked! Please go see it if you haven't. Go see it again.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, go see it, because
especially since moms who can't read took a stand against it, or whatever the fuck they're called.
Oh, you're kidding.
That's what I'm calling them. Is I don't because
Probably.
of witchcraft and gay.
There's barely any gay. I wish it was more gay.
Well, they just I mean, it's because like 4 of the 5 leading characters are queer, so that's what they're taking a stand against.
Well.
Stephen Schwartz writes such straight musicals. Do you know what I mean? Does anybody, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell me
like
some of his other stuff.
Pippin, Godspell, The Baker's
Children of
Wife,
Eden.
But also
he's done so
Prince
much.
of Egypt, Hunchback.
Yeah, Prince of Egypt.
Children
Hunchback.
of Eden. Wow.
I feel like they're so
Prince of
straight.
Egypt, wow.
Pocahontas.
In comparison,
he wrote Pocahontas?
He wrote the lyrics, yeah.
In comparison to another straight musical theater composer, Andrew Lloyd Webber has the gayest musicals
for sure
ever.
For sure.
Phantom?
Why is that? He's not gay?
No. Andrew Lloyd Webber was married to Sarah Brightman for a while.
That's right. I never, no offense. Can I come out as somebody who never liked her voice? I'm so sorry.
That's totally fine.
It wasn't for me.
I love it. I love that.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, no.
I know that it's controversial.
It's
I suppose it's controversial.
I'm willing to take a stand on this.
Brave.
Kristen Chenoweth she played Galinda as a little gay, which I love.
Yeah.
And just traditionally that's carried on a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're right, he does write the straightest shows, but
they all end up being a little gay.
So bisexual to me.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, they all end up being a little gay. It's musical theater, so
yep, you can't help it. It's just by nature. It's injected into your veins.
It's got to camp up a little bit, It's got to there's even them grounding it a little bit more, not realistically, but I felt like they took it more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
There was still a lot that you had to I feel like you got to get to a campy place to be motivated to sing.
That's a good point.
To make it believable that this person's going to sing, they have to come off a little bit whimsical and a little bit
well, and
weird, for lack of a
over
better
the
word.
top but sincere is human life.
Yeah.
Which is why I maintain that you have to get to a campy place, but most people live in a campy place. I have a whole shelf to my right of books on how to write comedy, how to write musicals, how to write plays, and all of the ones that say how to write musicals, it has to be a heightened reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Has to be in order to function.
Makes sense.
I'm going to write a musical that is so grounded. And you guys are going to be like, Tessa, you broke the rules. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm a punk musical writer.
Hang on, I like this character. Can we all
this is what becomes of me hanging out with Allie. They do this kind of thing sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I like all three of us doing that character to talk about musicals. So that's the best. Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. When she went into the crescendo, goddamn.
I fucking live for a crescendo.
I also loved the momentary tribute to the original Flying when her cape was comically long for no reason. But those of us who'd seen the show got it. And I was like, yeah,
it was great.
Yep, still crying.
Yeah. And also I love I really was into that tribute to the original stars.
Oh my God.
And the original.
But and also Winnie Holtzman and Stephen Schwartz making an appeance too. It was
wait, what?
Yeah, Winnie Holtzman is the one who. Oh,
he must be a wizard.
Yeah.
And Stephen Schwartz was, the wizard will see you now.
Oh, that's why everyone was like, at that point in the theater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's just Stephen Schwartz and a dumb mustache. But the other guard, that was the other cameo, is Gregory Maguire.
Yeah,
the other guard. The book author.
Yeah, mm-hmm. He's the one that takes Elphaba's invitation and then shows it to Stephen Schwartz, and Stephen Schwartz is the one who says, "The wizard will see you now,"
which was way more of a deep cut, but boy, I loved it.
It's a great deep cut, and also it's so dramaturgically sound to me. The new Elphaba is giving her invitation to the original author, who shows it to the original composer, and it's like, yeah, you're approved, and she gets to go in. It's like, that's okay. You know what? That's fucking great.
I like that.
Yeah, I loved every second of it. But yeah, also
really
Kristen
like
and Idina look amazing, sound amazing. It was
they sounded great.
Incredible.
Perfect.
Incredible.
They sounded great.
Notes.
At the Super Bowl, they played in the preview and they showed how she was going to do it. And I was like, all the mystery's gone. Like, how dare you? But it was fine, honestly. Maybe they had to prime people in a way that it was going to be different.
It's still,
I like that it is.
It's even knowing what she was going to do, it still took my breath away. Like, I still was like,
oh yeah,
like,
oh yeah,
me too.
And it was still a fucking good moment. Yeah, I absolutely gay gasped. I clutched my pearls.
I did too.
A fan got unfurled, like, like, oh my god, you know,
my stars.
Yeah, Miss Arrivo. she has announced her arrival. Yeah, it was incredible. Yeah, I could talk about the movie forever. and in a way we will kind of have to, because we have to wait a year for the second part.
Yep.
Yeah.
But well, if I end up doing something stupid and coming to the city next year, we should just all see the double feature together.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's all go see it.
That would be really fun.
Oh, right. Very well. This is I call it something heated, and I thought, we're about to head into some rough waters for the next 4 years, at least the next 2, and unfortunately maybe beyond 4. So I was wondering, from 2 of the wisest folks in my life, is there any piece of advice, anything that you keep you two hold on to, that you would want to share, that you would want to put out there in the universe, of like, what's the mantra? How do you stay positive? How do you what do you fall back on as times are getting uncertain, times are going to get, like, all sorts of whatever negative things may happen?
I gave myself a day to be devastated and wrecked, and I was. And so much so that I scared the shit out of my students. I went and taught one class and then was like, oh, nope, this was a bad idea. And so I canceled classes for the rest of the day. But my protege was like, I just have never seen you like that before. It was terrifying. And I was like, well, that's good to know that I'm otherwise a source of light and hope in the world. But that was what I decided to do, was that I am radically fighting for my joy for the next however long this nightmare continues. Is I am radically fighting for my joy and for the people that I care about's joy.
Love that.
And I mean radically. Whatever it takes, I will do it. And it has been a lot, and I've made a lot of quote unquote poor decisions financially and as well as otherwise, but also in the grand scheme of things feel pretty good, and do still have some hope, and do still believe in some things. So, like, maybe I'm being criminally naive, but last time I tried the true negative and it didn't work out at all. So we're trying the opposite this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I love that. I like that.
I'm going to give every gay a gun.
Yeah. I can help with that.
There was like a period in there, like 2017 or 2018 or something like that, where I guess like it was during the Me Too movement and everything like that. I was like, there was a point where I was like, you know what? I normally would like, no, I don't condone anything that would get you into trouble, like breaking the law or whatever. But like, hey, women, if you all wanted to burn everything down because of this, please do. I'd understand. I'd
support you.
Yeah, I'd support you. You have to support women's rights, and you have to support women's wrongs. So, like, I absolutely would.
I love that.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I would be like, yeah. No, normally I wouldn't condone anything that gets you into trouble, but
however,
at the same time,
collect those trophies.
Achievement hunters. That's all it is. That's all it is.
No, but I am like, I think I'm expanding my like reading, and I'm gonna really try in my work, because Cameron, yeah, you got the youth, I've got some youth. I'm just gonna try and like teach them our real like history. Like I just read this book, Lies My Teacher Told Me, that's like, and I read that book that's like all about how the US, like the US as a colonial power, and how like the Philippines was like just completely screwed over by the US and
Yes.
Teddy Roosevelt specifically. I want him to be an American hero, but he sucked.
Yeah. I love doing a Teddy Roosevelt impression, but fuck that guy.
yeah. So I think I just want to like try and let them know that like that this is part of our like history and heritage, and that we've got to fight against it all the time, and that people have been fighting against it all the time.
I agree with you so much. I taught musical theater history this last semester, and I was apparently the first person. Gay.
You were the first person?
Gay. I was the first person to talk about blackface. And like talk about it in depth.
I teach my students about it too.
Why it was horrifying, and why it is something that we vehemently prohibit today.
Yeah.
And like apparently like even my boomer colleague who teaches dance history like talked about it for 2 seconds and then glossed over it. And I was like, no, we're going to talk about it. We're going to watch some clips. We are going to watch Burt Williams reclaim it in the 20s.
Yeah.
But like we're gonna face it.
Yeah. You're going to blackface.
We're going to watch Al Jolson and all the horrifyingness that was. We're going to watch it all. Because, like, no, you need to see this. You need to understand why it's horrifying. You need to understand where it came from and how we are still dealing with these systems today. You need to understand all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. I think that, like, that's why the people who are, like, anti-woke and anti all of this shit is that they need you to break up that narrative. If you get educated about it and understand like slavery wasn't really all that long ago, like civil rights wasn't all that long ago, and it never really ended, like none of that ended, and if you sit down and can see the continuity of it all and have time to think about it,
we don't get in history class. We don't get this happened because this. It's correct. Just like this happened. This happened. This
and
happened. It's never because.
All about context.
Exactly. And you get a very glossed over version of it, right? Like what were you actually taught about Martin Luther King? I was taught
I have
that
a dream
Martin Luther
speech.
King,
that's it.
I have a dream, and he wanted everybody to live equally, and then that's it. And then and maybe you get it because you're like, oh, what happened to him? Maybe you get the fact that he like was shot, like
but you don't get the fact that like he absolutely had CIA involvement. Like you don't get those facts.
No.
And you don't get the fact that he was being wiretapped.
Yeah.
Like you don't get any of those things that the government was like so trying to stop him.
Mm-hmm. And they there was always that thing of all of the pictures are in black and white so that they make you they make you believe that it's like, oh, it was so long ago, and it's like, no, like they're like, what is it, who is it, Ruby Bridges. Ruby Bridges is alive. Like
yes.
She's alive and well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so it's like that's they're manipulating you in a way that is like it is very purposeful and very focused. That's always why. That's the other reason too that I'm always very careful about when people say the other side, quote unquote, the other side's so dumb, and it's like, oh, it's like, no, it's very purposeful and very focused what they're doing. So don't credit them, don't give them that credit. Like that's giving them the benefit of the doubt, essentially. Like, oh, they're too dumb to know better. And it's like, no, they know better. They absolutely know perfectly well. Their goal is to make sure you don't know better.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And like I tied context into everything. I was like, we think about all of this as ancient history, but like Puccini was writing operas as the streets of Caspar were being paved. And that just blew their little minds. It was like, no, this is all the same.
That's the thing too. What? Right? Exactly.
Yeah. For my something heated, I actually just found this quote. So I think it puts better what I would want to say than anything I could come up with. So I'll just go read it. I don't have a cited for it. I'm sorry. Someone can look it up. You can Google it. I maybe should have Googled it, but I didn't. After all that, let me get off my soapbox. Do not be daunted by the world's grief. Do justly now, love mercy now, walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it.
That's a rabbi.
As a rabbi, incredible.
It's a rabbi.
I love that.
Yes. It's such a beautiful quote too.
I love it. Incredible.
Let me find his name.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
I also always love to turn to the Mr. Rogers quote of looking for the helpers too.
Yeah.
Because it truly changed my life.
Yeah.
Because it is so easy to get caught up in the evil and the negativity and the select few who are absolute bastard people. But then it's also really nice to, get swept up in some joy and swept up in some justice and some vigilanteism by Mario's brother.
That's true. Rabbi Tarfon.
Rabbi Tarfon's what I found.
I want to make sure it's said out loud on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Incredible. Thank you for looking that up, Tessa.
Of course.
I should have done my due diligence, but I'm a lazy asshole.
No, you just have ADHD. It's fine.
But yeah, man.
That is a powerful quote.
Not that we would ever incriminate ourselves, but I do really support Mario's brother.
I agree. Mario's brother is doing important work.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, if I was put on that jury, they wouldn't select me. You know what I mean? I would get turned down from it.
I've been so intrigued by the media coverage because I'm on social media, and social media was like,
because it's really blown a hole in everything, right? Like the media has to cover him like a terrorist, like he did something terrible, and it's like one of the first times that's like everybody's like, no.
I listened to a radio show, and the journalist on the radio show was like, what's horrifying to me is people's reactions they were just like coming after all of us. And I was like, I don't know. I think in France,
yeah.
In 1786, I think.
Yeah.
I think,
or just recently.
Yeah. I saw a really good exchange. Somebody said, like, it was some like one of the detractors was like, I just can't believe, like, people, New York, you can't walk around. He was just going to work and he was just on the street, and I can't believe that this could just happen to anybody. And somebody replies and is like, no, it can't happen to anybody. I mean, not anybody, sort of just killed millions of people filing paperwork, essentially, like being in charge of like a essentially a kill shelter. Like,
yeah. And it's also like, sorry, the media, the news people really trying to paint him as he's the real working class hero, because he was working class when he was a kid and grew up to become super rich by denying people out there.
Like, it's a crazy job. I think that's the thing. Like, that's the most successful propaganda, right? Is that is that people believe that that's necessary and that he's just doing his job. And it's like, why is that a job? What, the rest of the world literally, as this news is coming out, it's like I hear from the rest of the world social media, everybody's like, wait, what's health insurance? What do you mean?
Right.
What are you talking about, medical insurance? You don't just get hospital care? It's like, nope.
No. The funny thing is, in the 50s, which is what supposedly the maggots want to get back to, is like you couldn't be denied a healthcare claim. Like it was in the law that you could not be denied. Like whatever you needed, it would be taken care of by your insurance.
Yeah. but that doesn't make people money.
Yeah, I know it
doesn't. That's expensive.
That's how do I make money? How does the board? How do the shareholders?
How does this board of shadowy figures?
Yeah. And they're not even that shadowy. They look like that they look like that asshole who died.
Have either of
I'm
you
gonna
seen
cut
Clone
that
High?
out. Yeah, I love
Have
Clone
others
High.
seen what?
Seen Clone High. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time.
Oh.
But it's from 2004, 2005. It only ran for a single season. But the premise is that a board of shadowy figures created a program to clone all of the world's greatest minds.
Mhm.
And this was done in like 1986 through 90.
So they're all in high school together?
In high school.
So they're all in high
yeah.
school.
And so like
Lincoln,
the main characters are Abe
Gandhi,
Lincoln, Mahatma Gandhi, Cleopatra.
Wow.
and
Genghis Khan.
all the voices are essentially it's the cast from Scrubs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was before Scrubs
Forte
took off. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But it's top notch. But there's a board of shadowy figures.
Yeah,
and like we never find out who they are or why they're doing this, but they just come in and wreak havoc once in a while.
love it.
Are you kidding? They're rioting at a 12th grade level. Did you see the pool? They flipped the bitch.
I love it. And then for the last segment before we do FMK, the last is something bold.
Oh.
And I would like, it doesn't have to be a resolution, because like I said, we don't do New Year's resolutions here. But is there anything that you hope to accomplish in the year 2025? In the year of our Lord 2025, and our Lord, of course, being David Bowie.
In the year of our Bowie 2025. I actually know right away because
incredible.
I saw this. Somebody else on the internet said they were doing this years ago. So it's stolen from whatever Reddit page had been posted to Pinterest that I saw. That's how I see Reddit and Tumblr.
That's how you digest.
Through Pinterest.
Yeah, Pinterest.
I love Pinterest.
That's
they
great.
were like, I'm gonna get 20 rejections next year. That's my resolution is I'm gonna get rejected 20 times for like giving a talk. For them, they said giving a talk. I don't really want to give a talk, but for like writing stuff and like maybe like on camera stuff. Although it's tricky because like I'm not going to include VO in that because within a week we'd hit 20. I'm constantly being rejected. But for like writing stuff for grants,
being Bond's voice, you're being the voice of Bond's vodka. So I'm just saying, like, there are 20 rejections, but also you're incredibly successful.
But I think that's the point, right?
Yeah.
Is to get like to
the point is I'm going to try and really
push
push it out there and like submit some plays for some shit and like try and get some grant money or some like award money or like I don't know a residency or something like try and get something cool.
That's great. I love
20
that.
rejections.
I think that's a great way to frame it too, because we were just talking about this is like unfortunately most of acting and performing in general, I guess like voice acting you were just talking about too, Tessa, like most of the time you're not performing, unfortunately. It's like most of the time you're auditioning. And
that reminds me I have one to do today.
and also unfortunately most of the time you're getting rejected, like a part is going to go up and one person's going to get it, most people are not getting it.
That's true.
And so it's like I think it's an important way to frame it so that like you just sort of accept that that's part of it and it's okay, and it's not a reflection on you. It is it's just part of the business of it all.
Yes,
I love it. Cameron,
I love that. I'm gonna do the same thing, but my bold is that
oh my god,
in the next coming months a massive decision is going to be made for me.
That's right.
What's an update from my job? One of my shitty boomer colleagues was let go this year. Oh
my god!
Like he was retiring at the end of the year, and they said, "Never mind, stay."
They
said, "Never mind, don't stay.
Get out of here.
Don't stay. Get out of here." And they're taking his line and making my position a full-time line, but I still have to apply. So what I mean
hopefully that's sort of just a formality. That sounds like one of those formalities.
Well, I mean, like I never put my cart before my horse because I have been royally fucked over before. But that massive decision is being made for me. So like I'm not making it. But like no matter what happens, I will pursue the rest of my life with the vigilance that you have come to know. And
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, ironically, if I do, I will have so much more time because right now I'm doing twice the work for half the day, and so I'd be doing half the work for twice the day.
I love that. I love that for you. Good. Yeah. The goodest of vibes out for that. I love that.
Samesies.
But so if I get it, great.
Do you know when you find out roughly, or is there like
they're posting at the beginning of January, so no, I don't.
Okay.
So it could be like a couple months.
I mean, like the thing is I have been up in the air for a while. I knew that this was going to be my last year unless something changed, and they actually came through, and so I think that's a good sign. But I will, no matter what, continue to do all the things that I'm doing, but it will help give my life direction for the next couple years at least.
Nice.
I love it. Incredible.
David.
Oh my God. I always forget about myself. Very similarly, yeah. I finally have a play that I want to finish, like that. I'm
yes.
It's a little, and I'm committing to finishing it because for me personally, I hate when I talk about a play that I want to write a lot, and then it just slowly like does not get written, because I'm spending all my time talking about it instead of actually writing it. And so I've made the most progress on it since Behind the Ides on an idea, and it's the most it's the most like you were saying, like you look for, like Tessa, you look forward to writing, it's like a little treat, and that's how I've been feeling. I've been like, oh, I get to work on this for a moment, and like to have that attitude and feeling towards it, I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah,
because you have to spend so much fucking time with a script, so you can't be miserable writing it. You have to. There has to be some part of it that you enjoy. So hopefully, I'm hoping if at the very least, if I can at least even just get like the roughest of written drafts for it down, committed to paper, as it were.
Yeah.
Then
the first draft is for existing.
Yeah, exactly 100%. So that's my goal, my aim.
Yes, David.
Aim,
David, I'm so pumped for this.
Yeah, I'm so pumped.
We are
speaking of which,
first drafts are the messiest drafts.
But like they're meant to be fixed, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your shit drafts. We know this.
We love shit drafts. There is a new Fringe Festival in Casper in August.
David, let's go.
You should both workshop something in it, please.
Let's
when
apply.
In August?
Middle
August. Okay. Yeah. Great.
I could swing that, I think. I could swing that.
I could probably.
I think I might be premiering something too, so we can just.
Oh my God! We gotta do a triple production. Let's do all three of them at the same time.
Pro. Wait, but then we can't watch each other's.
Yep. No, they're they're mashed all together, and they're all playing like a 3-ring circus.
Ooh!
I love a 3-ring circus.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right.
It's a $15 fee. I'm just saying.
Oh, really?
And then you could come stay with me.
Okay.
That's true. We have free housing.
Okay. All right.
We should do it.
Okay, that's kind of motivating me to finish it sooner.
Well, great.
I love it. All right. Well, okay. Welcome to the final round. That was the year. That was our retrospective. A reunion. Lovely to catch up with all of you. But of course, we're contractually obligated to end every OBP episode with a couple rounds of FMK. Fuck, marry, kill. I'm gonna do some Christmas themed ones. You of course you are celebrating whatever holidays, whatever festival of lights suits you and your needs and wants and desires. But mine just happened to center on Christmas. And these are Christmas themed ones, but they are mostly just they're inanimate objects and they are various categories of tree decorations. So the first one is you have to pick a tree. So FMK, real tree, fake tree, aluminum tree.
Ooh.
Oh.
Quantifier. Does the aluminum tree have the spinny light?
It is required. That's the only way to light the tree.
Great. I just want to double check.
Absolutely. No, it's a valid question, and I applaud you for it.
Okay, I think I'm ready. Unless Cameron is more.
No, go ahead, Tessa. It's tradition for you to go first.
Oh, right. I'm going to marry a real tree.
Okay.
I'm going to kill the fake tree. Fuck the aluminum
oh my
tree.
God, we're the same.
Ouch!
Ouchies.
Ouchies.
I'm switching real tree and fake tree. I will marry the fake tree.
You're marrying a fake tree?
Yeah, I had a fake tree growing up. The real tree's gonna die. Fake tree's gonna outlive me.
But then you can burn the real tree and keep warm by it.
What?
Once it all dries out.
Or build something.
Build something.
I have 5 fake trees in this space right now, but and I love them. But there is a soft. Okay. Just real quick diatribe. My family, we had 7 trees in our house growing up, but the main one was a real. The main one was a real tree. Well, I mean, when you come see my house, you'll understand.
Okay, all right.
The main one was always a real tree, and then we had other little fake trees for the rest of the decorations. But there's always a soft spot in my heart for a real tree.
I get it. I didn't have it growing up. My parents are allergic, so I've never had a real tree. And then the only time I've had it 1 year here in New York. So
your parents are allergic to pine?
Pine, yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
They just could never. They could never do it.
You should go to the Astor tree seller and be like, "Hey, hook me up."
I should. I'll go right now.
Yeah, I love a real tree. The smell.
I know, it's so good. I do love a real tree smell. It is really nice. Before we got the cats, that was the 1 year. There was 1 year where I was in the old apartment before we got the cat, and our other roommate at the time was like, "I'm gonna go out and buy a real tree." And it was great.
Nice.
Wonderful little year. Round 2. Tinsel, garland, string of popcorn.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Do it, Cameron.
I am going to kill fucking tinsel because that shit. I am going to marry garland because it is my absolute favorite thing, and I'm going to fuck the popcorn because it's my favorite snack food anyway. And you can still eat it after you're done.
Oh my God. I honestly think I might be. If you hear any shouting, it's all in friendly joy over here.
Awesome.
But hopefully Zoom muted.
Can't hear it.
I think I'm going to do the same as Cameron. I would fuck the popcorn, kill the tinsel, and marry the garland.
I'm going to switch. I'm going to be contrary again. I will switch.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to marry popcorn. Marry popcorn.
I mean, that's totally fair.
That was I was sort of torn because if you marry popcorn, you can eat it forever.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it also depends on the type of garland.
Do you normally eat your spouse?
I mean,
yes.
I eat out my spouse. I don't eat my spouse.
Well,
all right.
I took some dating tips from Army Hammer. And finally,
throwback to episode 4, baby.
Yeah, what a throwback!
God.
What a throwback! And finally, star on top, angel on top, Christmas bow on top. Sorry, I editorialized a little bit.
Yeah, you did.
Dear listeners,
okay.
I only apologize.
David, why don't you go first?
Yeah, you go first, David. You go first.
I am fucking the angel. I will marry the star and I'll kill the bow.
That's correct.
That's same for me.
I did a minute of research and I looked up a bunch of trees that I was like, what even is a third Christmas tree topper? And I saw one that was the Eye of Sauron, which was great.
That's cool. I like that.
That's a great one, but I didn't want to do a Lord of the I felt like that one's going to win, you know?
Yeah, we are all going to marry the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah, I want it to be harder, but yeah. And then I also saw like a reindeer. I saw a reindeer as a tree topper. and the other one I saw was a biblically accurate
yes,
angel.
yes. I was going to say, is the angel biblically accurate, or is it one of the pretty?
No, it's one of the. No, this one in this particular one is just the.
I guess I'd probably choose to fuck either biblically.
I was going to say, I kind of want to fuck the biblically accurate angel.
For me, both. I do both.
Yeah, just to find out what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the story here?
Yeah. What hole do I put it in? I'm so sorry.
Obviously, one of the eye sockets.
I guess so. Yee. And everything burns.
They're an immortal being. It's fine.
Yeah. It's very much described as everything's on fire. So yes. I don't know. It's going to be exciting at least.
And it's thousands of eyes, so they'll be fine. They're also immortal, so they'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Well, this was an incredible little holiday special. I loved this. It's always wonderful to see you too.
It's so wonderful.
For all you've done.
I did so much.
You did. You made all the plan and made all that happen.
Yeah, you were definitely boss today.
I was boss today. You know what? New thing for 2025. I'm gonna own up. I'm not the boss all the time. But I'm going to own when I am the boss. I was the boss today. Thank you so much. Let's do some sign-offs. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening.
Oh, golly.
Well, I've been Cameron Faring, and I just wanted to say that whether it's a tree topper angel or a biblically accurate angel, make sure that you can always see your future.
Oh.
I've been Tessa Flannery, and I think I'm going to put a little baby Yoda on top of my tree.
Oh, I like
Grogu.
that.
Grogu is on top of my tree, and we're not going to do any sex with it.
Would you fuck Yoda, though?
Please only refer to it as do sex. I'm only going to
Yoda
do sex.
Yoda is old of age.
Yeah, that's true.
And probably knows a thing or two.
Grogu is 60.
If baby Grogu has a lightsaber, then that it lights up. I think that's the only thing is like it needs to light up. That's
true. My mom had we set it up a couple of years ago, I think, where we had a Grogu on top of the tree with his little hand out and some ornaments hanging. Because I had seen that online and was like, let's do that for Pam because she loves Grogu.
Incredible. That's amazing.
I love that.
And you.
And this has been David Armstrong, reminding you that time and our nature are cyclical, and all that entails. Fashions return, old habits die hard, love may persist forever, and history is doomed to repeat itself. But you are the deciding factor in what form the new phoenix takes. May it blaze bright and be bloody brilliant. We're all stars exploding in the sky. So let's give those fucking aliens light years away, watching us 60 million years in the future, a fireworks display that they'll look at and say, what must it have been like? Those trailblazers, those ancient ones. I hope they lived lives romantic. Maybe we're all watching the same stars. Have a wonderful holiday season, listeners. Enjoy your free month of January before the new year starts on February 1st. And everyone have a fantastic 2025. From all of us here at OBPHQ and OBPHQ Plus, the happiest of holidays. Good night, everybody.
Baby, you're a firework.
Oh my gosh, so motive B.